Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the week that was in pro wrestling. So just for today, I think I'm just going to cover WWE Monday Night Raw and NWA Power. I do plan on watching SmackDown later, so I'm going to cover that. We'll see about Collision, but more than likely I'm going to watch the Met game on Saturday, and fingers crossed they can get a win. But I think I'm just going to cover these two for today. Leave Dynamite and then SmackDown for Tuesday, which Monday I have an eye doctor appointment. Shouldn't be anything major, but we'll see. So we're going to start out this show with Monday Night Raw. And of course, start off with a John Cena promo. And he is getting booed out of the building. And rightfully so. So, he starts off, I got something on my mind. Something you want to say to me. You're ready to do your worst, aren't you? And now with the spotlight turned on you, I can tear you to shreds. Last week, I put one kid on blast, which apparently that kid is okay with what Cena said, which is funny. Cena continues, his face was everywhere, and you loved it. You have all done worse than me, who always tells the truth, and here you are using profanity to try to mask your wicked ways. You're all horrible people and know how you pay for what you put me through. I paid attention. You're going to make this so easy. And while you're doing your chanting, I learned from you, prodding you. You told me everything there is to know about you, and you know nothing about me. I know more about you than you ever did. And it's best it's gonna get. And this, for you, is the best it's gonna get. I'll have nothing more than an experiment. And I'm gonna make this so simple. And while you always tell me everything about you, because you because you want to matter. And I gave you my absolute best, my greatest idea, the WWE spinner belt. Surprised you brought that up. And you all ate me alive. You told me how stupid this was. You said how the title wasn't a toy, it was a symbol of the WWE, and I turned it into a toy. Newsflash, going forward, I'm going to ruin wrestling for everyone. And at WrestleMania, not only am I going to make history by winning the WWE title for the 17th time, I'm going to force you to forget the name Ric Flair and remember John Cena. I'm going to win the WWE title, and then I'm going to retire with it. I'm going to leave you with the toy belt, and the real one comes home with me. Revenge is best served cold as I walk away with the title, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Lights go out. In which, Undertaker, is that you? No, instead it is the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. He comes in, walks right past Cena, grabs a microphone and says, I'm sorry, what did you say? You're going to take this away from them? If you're going to take this away from... You're going to have to take this away from me first. I'm seeing it now. You're clearly angry. And we're dealing with the most dangerous Cena we've ever seen. I made a mistake saying that you said a while ago I was in the building. Does that bother you? You don't need to unpack our history. You know how hard I fought to get this, hold this one time. Do you want to take this? So Cody drops the microphone, lays the title between he and Cena. Cody then starts kind of taking off his jacket. He's ready to brawl. Cena drops his microphone. Looks like he's going to lean over to take the title. But then instead he just looks up to Cody Rhodes and bails out of the ring. He goes about halfway up the ramp, ready to leave. Cody picks up the title belt and the microphone, says, "One more thing, John. I cannot let you go. Let you see me and know your psychotic need to take this is BS. You're no longer the champ. The champ is standing right here in the ring. And that is how you walk away from WrestleMania and WWE." So, Cody's still standing in the ring, raising his title tall. Cena kind of looks back, gives a little smirk on his face, turns around and walks straight backstage. So, that was some promo. And Cena bringing back up the title, the spinner belt. Like, yeah, I hated that title belt. It worked for one person and one person alone. John Cena. Anyone else holding that title looked ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm glad the title belt got a redesign. We then get a look back highlight video of Braun Breaker vs. Finn Balor last week on Raw, which was a fun match until the obvious Judgment Day interference, which I am so tired of. So, next matchup, we got a little tag team action as Jay teams up with a mystery opponent to take on A-Town Down Under. That's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And then, as Jey Uso's making his entrance down the ramp, it spawns Jimmy Uso, which is, honestly, I didn't even see where he came from. He was just kind of there. I'm like, alright, Usos. Good to see them back together. And then, yeah, we were off and running. Definitely missed seeing the Usos in tag action, but, and apparently this was the first one since, they beat, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at, either that was Crown Jewel or that was something else, I forget. So, yeah, good to see them teaming up again. These four guys had some really good chemistry together. A lot of really good back and forths, including a super flatliner from Waller. That looked nutty as hell. Then we get this crazy combination. A couple of super kicks, a pop-up sphere, which is kind of an alley-oop, but then Jay hits a sphere. Then Usos hit the 1D for the victory. And yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. Fun little matchup. Out from the crowd comes Gunther. He at first takes out Jimmy. And then he and Jay start brawling. Jay is then set up in the corner for a spear. He then, trips. Missing it. Gunther takes advantage. He's about to powerbomb Jay into the center of the earth. Jimmy then comes back in with a steel chair and runs Gunther off. So, yeah, definitely including Jimmy in this feud is interesting. I don't know how involved he's going to get in this feud. But it's definitely a bit of energy this feud needs. And we'll talk about something else that happened a little later. Anyway, so we go backstage for Liv and Raquel. They're walking along, saying, "Oh, imagine having to deal with us. We're the best, blah, blah, blah." Dom and Carlito then walk in, with Dom saying, "Oh, it's good to feel back. We got some new tag champs." Then Liv says, "And don't forget, future double champ." Then Dom says, "More things change, the more they stay the same." Then we hear Liv say something about that. "We gotta talk about Finn here in Judgment Day. It's clear it's not working out. We gotta do something about it." Liv and Raquel then walk off. Carlito then pulls like 4 apples from wherever during this entire thing. He takes a bite out of one. Dom sees this. He asks, "Oh, you got an apple for me?" Carlito then says, "No, cuz," and then walks off. We then get this very, very strange vignette, clearly made with AI-generated images, to hype up the newest member of the Raw roster, El Grande Americano, which is the masked luchador that we have been seeing attacking the LWO lately. And it's definitely an interesting vignette. And then when he makes his entrance, they say, "From the Gulf of America." Now, I know there's a couple of people who are up in arms against this. It's a character. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's a joke. Alright? I more than likely, we're going to see an unmasking sometime soon. And, oh, it's Chad Gable. So, yeah, anyway, after this vignette, we see Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio in Adam Pearce's office, with Rey saying, "That was clearly Chad Gable, you know it is." Then in walks the man himself, Chad Gable. He's kind of coughing his head off. He then says through the cough, "I know we got similar bills, but I'm telling you, that's not me. Oh, and Pierce, I know I have a match later tonight with Dragon Lee, but I'm clearly sick." He gives what looks like a Costco receipt to Adam Pearce. He says, "Alright." "It's alright. We don't the Ray says, "It's alright. We don't need to be out there to beat your ass." Adam Pearce then gets in the way of them, saying, Whoa, let's take a time out here. How about instead we get Dragon Lee versus the new guy?" Dragon Lee then says, "It doesn't matter who it is, I'll take the match." And the LWO walk off. So, interesting setup for that match. We'll see where we go from there. Speaking of seeing where we go from there, we then get our Women's Intercontinental title match as Lyra Valkyria defends against Raquel Rodriguez. And honestly, this was a fun powerhouse versus speed match. Really, really good back and forth, including Raquel hitting a twisted elbow drop from the middle rope, but only getting a 2 count. Lyra attempts a crossbody that gets caught into a suplex attempt. Lyra, mid-move, turns it around, hits a DDT for 2, in which, at that point, Liv puts Raquel's foot on the ropes. Lyra and Liv then argue for a little bit. Lyra attempts the Nightwing, but that gets blocked into a massive big boot. Lyra with a drop kick to Liv. Raquel attempts the Tejana bomb, that gets blocked right into a roll-up for your winner, and still Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. Post-match, Liv Morgan gets in the ring and attacks Lyra, as does Raquel. And out comes a most interesting savior. It's Bayley who makes the save and helps Lyra stand tall in the ring. So, yeah, that's definitely, I don't know what they're doing here with the Intercontinental Championship. I guess we're going to have a 4-way at WrestleMania, but then that takes Raquel and Liv out of a tag title defense. I don't know. It's very strange. We then get highlights from the contract signing last week, interrupted by Rhea, including the brawl pretty much right afterwards. Then we get a new Triple H Hall of Fame highlight. Instead of the MSG return, it is now SummerSlam, I want to say it was 98, where he and The Rock had a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. So, interesting that 2 weeks ago they were at Madison Square Garden. Couldn't show these? I don't know. It's weird. So then we see in like a... Oh, and then we get a little update of the next Hall of Fame inductees. It is Typhoon and Earthquake, the natural disasters. Congratulations, boys. Next, we see Jay. He's sitting in a stairwell somewhere in the back. Jimmy walks down, sits kind of a level above him, and says, "Hey, what's up? Gunther's been in your head this entire time. You want me to hit that up? The kill shot was there. And if you continue like this, you won't win." Jay then lets out the most primal scream I think I've ever heard from him. He says, I ain't beat Gunther. I don't know if I can beat him. Jimmy then says, "No, you can't. Not this Jay. The right-hand man Jay can. The Jay who won the Royal Rumble can. I want to see that Jay. I'll see you in a minute." Jimmy then walks around the corner into a hallway where he sees Gunther. He walks right up to Gunther, gets right in his face, says, "Me and you next week." Gunther then kind of looks at him and says, he doesn't really say anything. Then Jimmy just slaps the taste out of Gunther's mouth. Gunther then looks back, kind of does this a little bit, and smiles. He might kill Jimmy Uso next week. Like, that is, that was wild. So next we have Adam Pearce. He's in the middle of the ring. He says, "We're on the road to WrestleMania. I have the contract for the Women's World title match. And Rhea picked a fight and she signed herself. I want to make this clear. Rhea Ripley is not in the match for WrestleMania." This got a big boo. Like, that got a really big reaction. Adam Pearce continues, "The match for WrestleMania is Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. Rhea knows she has her rematch, but Bianca won the Chamber fair and square. She is the number one contender." Out comes Women's World Champion Io Sky. Gets in the ring. She says, "I don't care about this contract. I don't care if it's Rhea or Bianca or both. I'll take on all of them because I am the Women's World Champion." Out next comes Bianca Belair, who gets kind of near the edge of the ramp, says, "Nuh-uh. You're right. I earned this spot. I went through the Chamber just to get to WrestleMania. I'm not letting Rhea in the match. And almost as she's done saying that, out comes Rhea Bloody Ripley to a great reaction. And she says, honestly, I don't give a damn about WrestleMania or who I gotta go through to get my title back. I want my rematch. Bianca then turns to Rhea and says, oh, okay, boo. You can get your rematch after WrestleMania. Where I'm the world champion. Then Rhea and Bianca kind of push each other a little bit. Io Sky gets involved a little. But before it can escalate into a brawl, Adam Pearce gets between them all and says, hold on, that's why I called you all out here. I have a solution. Rhea, you will get your rematch next week against Io. The winner gets Bianca at WrestleMania. Io then goes to attack Bianca, who hits a pop-up DDT, which was crazy. Bianca attempts to hit a KOD on Rhea, but that gets blocked. Hitting a big boot to the outside. Rhea attempts a suplex back in, but that gets blocked by Bianca. Rhea then with a big clothesline over the top. Io gets back in, hits a jawbreaker on Rhea. Hits her with a kind of an awkward Rana, but I can see where she was coming from. Misses on a big stomp. Then Bianca gets Io up for the KOD. Io's hanging on to the ring ropes, dumps her over the top. To end the segment. More than likely, this is going to be a screwy finish next week because there's one more edition coming. And I can't wait to get to that. So anyway, we see Penta. He's warming up in the back. Dom walks in and he says, while I know you're a great wrestler, you could be way better. I want to offer you a spot in Judgment Day. You could be Intercontinental Champion tonight. Think about it. So they're really trying to recruit Penta for Judgment Day. I'll admit that's kind of an interesting fit. We'll get to that in a little bit. Then we get kind of the biggest spat in the face I've ever seen. We get a War Raiders vignette going over their recent wins. And yeah, I don't know what they're going to be doing with the World Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. I was kind of hoping it'd be the Lucha Brothers, but it looks like Rey Fenix is going to be on SmackDown. So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do for WrestleMania for the tag titles. So, and I guess we kind of get a little idea because we're in Adam Pearce's office. He's looking over a couple contracts. New Day come in, say, with Kofi saying, look, we want our world title match at WrestleMania. Adam Pearce then kind of turns to him saying, are you ready to have a match next week? Until then, get the heck out of here. New Day then kind of have a little grumpy look on their faces. They leave. Bianca comes in and says, Pearce, what's going on? Who am I facing at WrestleMania? Pearce then says, look, we're going to find that out next week. So how about next week you get in there yourself as you're the special guest referee for that World Women's title match. Bianca then kind of gets a flustered look on her face saying, I don't know how to ref. And then Pearce says, well, you gotta go learn. So Bianca kind of runs off. So, yeah, I expect some shenanigans from that World Women's title match next week. Officially confirming this triple threat. Which I am so down for. So now we go into our next match. I can't believe it took this long to get to another match, but here we are. as we have Dragon Lee of the LWO taking on the debuting El Grande Americano, which is definitely someone's coffee order. But yeah, El Grande looks great. He's got the lucha mask on. He still kind of has a singlet that looks like Chad Gable's. But then he's got like tassels on his feet, so that looks pretty cool. And yet he still wrestles like Chad Gable. He definitely does some lucha things, like a couple arm drags. Other than that, not too dissimilar of what Chad Gable wrestles like. Although, Dragon Lee's up on the top rope. He's getting ready to do a dive. Americano gets up there, chops him, and then just rips his mask off. So, that entire time, Dragon Lee's trying to protect his face. And then Americano locks in the ankle lock to pick up the submission win. So, yeah, that was definitely a fun little matchup. Good to see Americano get his first win. Not really sure what they do with this at WrestleMania. So then we get a recap of the confrontation between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk from this past week's SmackDown. We then get a CM Punk promo. He then started off saying, "Unfortunately, I am happy to be here, but I'm not in a good mood. It's hard not to stay in a bad mood when I got fans like yours, like you. I have some jet lag. I haven't been sleeping, but I have my road to WrestleMania. And what I wanted, I'm not getting. Or am I, brother?" No, he didn't say that. I wanted to win the Rumble. I lost that opportunity. I wanted to win the Chamber. However, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Seth screwed me at the Chamber, and it doesn't get me what I want. For me, this is just business, and the two men stopping me from getting what I want got to go. Seth and Roman are taking these things personal. It's nothing but business for me on SmackDown for a contract signing. Crowd starts booing. Punk then says, "Yeah, I wanted it here too. So did I. I wanted to see if the match gets me what I want." And it's clear they wouldn't grace their presence here tonight, so I'm going to see you on Friday. Neither one of you beat me without the other's help. I brought you both into this business, and I cannot wait to take you out of it. So, that is a lot to go over, but from what I can tell, we might be getting an amendment to this triple threat match, in which whoever wins, or maybe if Punk just wins, he will be added to the Cena-Cody match night 2, which, yeah, that match definitely needs some stakes. Definitely some really good history. Maybe that's going to be the Paul Heyman promise that they made together. Either way, it's going to be interesting. We have a Raw card rundown for next week. They're going to be in London, which should be an awesome setup. Then we go backstage for a Braun Breaker interview, saying whatever business he has with Judgment Day, that's Penta's business. I'm going to win the match tonight for one reason. The dogs are barking. And, crowd starts barking along. So then we get our main event of the evening, and it's for the Intercontinental title, as Penta challenges Braun Breaker. And this was a visual delight. This was great power versus speed combination, with both guys countering each other's biggest moves, including Braun going for his military press slam, Penta slipping out of it, going to hit a destroyer that gets blocked by Braun, who hits a military press gutbuster, only for a 2. Goes for the spear, Penta blocks it with a big kick, hits an enziguri. Braun attempts a military press, but that gets blocked. Penta with a big old Rana over the top rope. Penta then dives over the top, gets him back in, hits a destroyer for a 2. Penta attempts a Penta driver that gets blocked. To a big boot. Braun then gets Penta up to the top rope, tries for a superplex that gets blocked. Braun with a big old Frankensteiner, which is a great move, only for 2. Then Braun sets up for a spear. Then Dominic Mysterio ends up on the apron. Braun then spears Carlito on the other side of the ring. And then Dom gets in the ring, hits a chop block on Braun to cause the DQ win for Penta, but still Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. And Penta's trying to fight off the two of them. In comes Finn Balor, who hits Braun in the back with a chair. He then looks at Dom, is hesitant at first. Then he gives Dom the chair, who gives some chair shots to Braun. Then Dom looks over to Penta, hands Penta the chair. Penta looks at it, looks at Dom, tosses Dom the chair. Dom catches it, and then Penta with a drop kick into the chair. And then Finn attacks Penta. Hits one chair shot and then a coup de grace to end the segment with Judgment Day standing tall. So, this was a very enjoyable matchup. However, we get more Judgment Day nonsense. Like, oh, they're back on the same page. Like, Triple H, I'm going to say this. It's time to either shit or get off the pot with Judgment Day. Either break them up or don't. Because I am getting sick of this will they, won't they nonsense. And look, I get it. You're the king of big, long epics. This isn't as epic as you think. So, overall, Raw was a bit of a mixed bag this week. There was plenty of good to offset the awkward and the bad, but yeah, definitely more of a mixed bag than I thought we would get on the road to WrestleMania. So that is it for Monday Night Raw. We now move into NWA Power. And we see Aaron Stevens, Jeremiah Plunkett, and I guess a couple of Stevens' students sitting in his school. And Steven pretty much takes over saying, look, I got a story about Plunkett. He's been traveling as champion, defending it all over the NWA territories. His career is on the up. He's representing NWA, who will bow. It's all about control. It's a mind game, and I'm the best at those. It isn't checkers or chess. Where are we going with this? Me controlling the NWA World title. It's all about business. And there's no stuff being blah. And he stops. Aaron Stevens' mission of excellence. So it does look like BFT are either taking a break from NWA or they're not under contract anymore. And so it looks like Aaron Stevens is going to be leading a new group, which looks like it's Jeremiah Plunkett, maybe Carson Drake, but we'll see about that. And he's going to be like manager of champions or whatever. So, interesting way to go about this. So then we get the NWA TV title match. We got Carson Drake defending against Alex Misery. And this was a very entertaining little matchup with the camera sometimes cutting to the slime balls who are in their own little area on the ramp, which is funny. Really good back and forth with Drake taking some shortcuts. Alex Misery with a crazy looking moonsault to the outside. And as he hits an elbow drop, he goes for the pin. And then ding, 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 ding. Time limit has been reached. So still your NWA TV champion, Carson Drake. And as he's celebrating, he calls in the interviewer to the ring. Where he said, then the interviewer gets in the ring and he says, "You can't beat me." And then that's it. Definitely some ominous goings on with Carson Drake. Because if he successfully defends his title another time, he could cash in the TV title for a world title shot. Which I do believe is what's going on. So next we see the Page sisters along with not Anthony Henry. I forget who it is. It's another wrestler who's been on NWA. With Kenzie saying, "Look, I know I got everyone worried. I'm not holding the women's title. I got the one half of the tag titles. And while it does have a hold on me, would you do something?" Then the other guy, I guess the significant other, says, "You got one problem, Markova." Kenzie then kind of gets a weird look on her face, like, "Oh, you dare bring up her name?" She then kind of yells at him, "In a house that I brought, you bring up Markova?" He then continues, "You versus Markova is great money. I'll step in the ring with Markova. I could beat you on any day. But you're champion. The only thing you need to do is shut up, Hunter." Hunter Drake, that's who it is. I knew I recognized him from somewhere. So I guess Hunter Drake and Kenzie Page are a thing? I didn't know that. That's kind of nutty. Anyway, next matchup, we got the next, and I believe last, first round matchup of the Jack Stane Memorial Heavyweight Title Tournament. As we have Zion being led to the ring by Idol Sports Management, new manager, taking on Burchill, the former Paul Burchill. And this was a technical feast for the eyes. Like, if you like technical wrestling, this match is going to be right up your alley, because it is really, really good. A lot of really good mat wrestling, including a bow and arrow spot, but Burchill gets out of it. Burchill then fights back with an atomic drop clothesline combination. Looks like he's going to give Zion a shoulder tackle in the corner. Zion moves and he hits the ring post. Zion with an STO. Locks in the crossface. But Burchill gets in the ropes. And then the manager, I guess it's Brandon. That's who I have written down here. Gives Zion, I think it's some kind of brass knuckles or some foreign weapon. Ref sees it, takes it off Zion, which distracts Zion long enough for Burchill to lock in the grit your teeth for the submission win. Great win for Burchill. Glad he's moving on. I kind of hope he's the guy to win, because Burchill is completely underrated, and hopefully we got something coming for him. And next we go back to the Southern Six Clubhouse, which is, the bar area. Which, honestly, I'm going to say this, that is a nice looking establishment. Southern Six, if you need a fourth or a fifth, I'm game. I know I'm not cool enough, but I want to shoot my shot. So it's Alex Taylor, who has the junior title, Kerry and Ricky Morton, and they're sitting around a table, and it's covered by a crudely hand-drawn tournament bracket. It honestly looks like I drew it. So we start with Taylor telling a story about, I guess, hooking up with another girl. I'm not even sure what that was about. And how about how he had a night out with Kid Cash, which Kid Cash actually just announced he's coming out of retirement. So could we see Kid Cash in the NWA? Yeah, NWA, think about it. Kid Cash is awesome. So anyway, so Kerry takes over the meeting saying, we got the NWA World Heavyweight Champion match on the line. And then we see Ricky, pointing out the tournament bracket and the possible situations that could happen. Gary then says, whoa, Dad, we've been in these situations before. We aren't going to underestimate this. And when we finish, you're going to know how hot I am. I'm the next big star. Then Ricky says, I'm excited for you, kid, but I know him. I was watching him for years. And then Kerry calms him down, saying, look, it's my time to shine. I'm not going to underestimate this guy. I'm going to be the next world heavyweight champion. And then he kind of walks off. No Thrillbilly in this segment, which I thought was very, very strange. So are we going to see a breakup of the Southern Six? I kind of hope not, because I like the Southern Six. Then we get a hype video for the Immortals versus Daisy Kill and Talos. We don't then go backstage. Immortals aren't facing the camera. They turn around, and Kratos says, Daisy Kill, Talos, the Immortals are here. And then we go right into our main event, as we have the Immortals, that's Odin's son, coming back from injury to his elbow, I want to say, teaming up with, I don't want to say Deimos, that is wrong. Odin's son and Kratos, God of War, taking on Daisy Kill and Talos. And Daisy Kill and Talos, they jump right into the ring and they brawl with the Immortals. Eventually the Immortals take over the ring. Daisy Kill slides in under the ropes. Kratos gets out of the ring, so we start with Daisy and Odin's son. And Odinson kind of beats the heck out of Daisy Kill for a little while. Tags in Kratos, who continues the offense. Eventually, Daisy makes it over to Talos. Tags the big man in. He runs roughshod for a little bit. Then Daisy Kill with a blind tag attempts a roll up. That gets blocked by Kratos, who hits a big old chop. Chops him right back to his corner, which Talos comes in. Goes for the choke slam. That gets blocked. Kratos with a Pele kick. Odinson tags in. Bunch of uppercuts. Big suplex. Back to the uppercuts. Goes for the F5, but that gets blocked. Talos then tosses him right into the ring post. Hits a couple of big elbows. And then a clothesline. Then Talos grabs a hold of Odinson. Daisy Kill attempts a clothesline, then hits Talos off of the ringside. Kratos with a big dive to the outside. Odinson with the pounce that would make Monty Brown look proud. Covers, and your winners, the Immortals. I kind of hope they get back to the World Tag Division. These two are too good to just be kind of lower card guys. No offense to the Immortals. I love them. Anyway, so we finished with a very interesting segment. We see Tom Latimer. He rolls up on his big truck in a parking lot. He unloads his stuff. He's walking to the arena. But then he gets stopped by the slime balls, in which the smaller one does the talking and says, "Hey, you look good. I'd ask you to borrow the jacket, but no, that'd be awkward. How are you? You're looking great. Look, we're not here to do anything." Latimer then says, "Kid, just get to the point." Then Rant continues saying, "Look, you don't have a boss, but we do. Well, he's less of a boss. He's more of a friend. But he's got some information on your whole situation. Now, we don't want any problems." Latimer says, "I'm listening." Rand then continues, "Look, we know you're not happy with the situation with Stevens, but he might help you with this. And then, hey, maybe one day you'll be our boss. All Stevens wants to do is make your situation better." Then Latimer says, "Look, this is not the time or the place for this. I need to go in the arena." So he walks by with his bag. And then the two slime balls are talking to one another, saying, "Look, we did it. We got the plan into action." I guess Latimer heard that, turns right around, says to them, "Scrap that. I don't need your help." And then walks off to end Power. Definitely a very entertaining episode. A lot of good wrestling. I am loving these on-location promos and skits and stuff. It's very unique. You don't really see it that much in modern wrestling anymore. So, yeah, overall, very mixed bag in terms of pro wrestling. Hopefully we'll get some better stuff on with WrestleMania literally right around the corner. I think we're like 3 weeks out or so. So, yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how Raw steps up and see if NWA continues with their good fortunes. So, that'll be it for me for today. I thank you all for tuning in. So, I will not be doing a recording for Monday because I have an eye doctor's appointment. So Tuesday, I'll take care of AEW Dynamite and tonight's WWE SmackDown. And then if I'm feeling like it, I'll cover AEW Collision. But we'll see. So thanks for tuning in. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.